Hello and welcome all of you to the Prelims PYQ discussion by NEEB IAS. We are starting the modern India discussions and this is the first video. The theme of this video is Advent of the Europeans. We have two questions between 2014 and 23 in this particular theme. The first question is from the 2022 Prelims. It has three statements. The first statement, the Dutch established their factories or warehouses on the east coast of lands granted to them by Gajapati rulers. Second, Alfonso de Albuquerque captured Goa from Bijapur Sultanate. Third, the English East India Company established a factory at Madras on a plot of land leased from a representative of the Vijayanagara Empire. Now, this is one question where chronology comes into the picture. Dates. Without knowing the dates, it's very difficult to tackle this. Now, the catch here is Gajapati rulers and the Dutch factory. See, Gajapati rulers is one dynasty that extinguished before 1600. The Dutch East India Company was established after 1600. So they have to establish first, then they have to come to India, then they have to set up their factory. So a company that was set up, established in 1605, when they set up their factory, at least 5 to 10 years will be there. But Gajapati rulers is one company, one dynasty that extinguished or declined before 1600. So this is contradictory. So you can cut the statement out and you can eliminate 1, C and D. So naturally option B is becoming the right answer. So it may seem like a very factual question if you look at the third option. Plot of land leased from a representative of Vijayanagara Empire. Now it seems very factual. But UPSC is just testing your conceptual clarity with respect to the dates here. So the answer here is option 2 and 3. Option 1 is wrong. Gajapati dynasty, the end of Gajapati dynasty was in 1542. That is along the rise of Mughals, they declined there. And the first factory of the Dutch were formed in 1605. That is in Masulipatanam. Masulipatanam is in the southern coast and Gajapati dynasty has no relation with that coast here. Now, the second statement, it's about Alfonso de Albuquerque. Here you have to remember two names. One is Albuquerque and second is Almeida. These are the two Portugal generals who established the Portuguese dynasty in India. Albuquerque is the one who captured Goa. So this was also a previous year question in some other year as well. So Albuquerque captured Goa and this happened from the Bijapur Sultanate. He persecuted the Muslims and he also captured Bhatkal from Krishnadeva Raya. This is not the Krishnadeva Raya, a different king, a successor, but he also belongs to the Vijayanagara Empire. And finally, the third statement is about British East India Company establishing their factory in Madras. So by 1639, this Vijayanagara Empire will come to a decline and they'll get disintegrated and local polities under the leadership of Nayagas will emerge. And one of the Nayaga donated the land to the Madras for the Madras factory to the English. So that's the third statement. So these two statements, you need not know every fact of it. You just have to know the dates to answer this question. Moving to the second question. In the first quarter of 17th century, that is until 1650s, in which of the following was or were the factories of the English East India Company? Brock, Chikole and Trichinopalli. Here again you have a conceptual catch. Now Trichinopalli was the capital of Carnatic. Carnatic should come to your mind when you think about Carnatic Wars. So the British fought the Carnatic Wars from 1740s to 1760s. That is in 18th century. And only in 1760s that they could control over Trichinopalli. So how come they can set up a factory in the first half of 17th century in Trichinopalli? That's impossible. Because the Nawab of Carnatic should grant them permission for all that. It didn't happen. Carnatic was a region of conflict of the British with the French. The French had a factory there in Mahi. Both Mahi and the Madras region is nearby that Carnatic region. It is around the Coromandel coast, which is the modern day Tamil Nadu coast. But Trichinopalli was under the control of the Nawab of Carnatic and British had no power there. So this statement can be eliminated. 3. So 1 becomes automatically correct and 2 becomes the question. Here it becomes factual. You should know the answer. Chikole is not part of the British setup. Only Brock is part of the British setup. So I'll give the details here. On the west coast, they are Ahmedabad. Agra is also considered part of the west coast. Baroda, Gujarat, and Brock in by 1619. By 1611, they had a factory in Muslipatanam and Armagaon in near Pulicat. Now we have come to know that in Muslipatanam, even the Dutch had a factory by 1605. Then in eastern India, they had factories in Odisha, Balasore and Hariharpur, Hooghly in 1651. So the first factory in Calcutta is coming up after 1650. Then factories in Patna, Dhaka, Kasim Bazar and Bihar. So you just have to catch the first part, which is Trichinopalli. Then Chikore, you should just know that Chikole is not part of the British setup. That's it. So these are the questions. We'll come back with yet another theme. Thank you for listening.